Hey guys, alright, so this is going to be a pretty quick little tutorial on how to ink a tote bag. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take our ink mat and we're going to set it inside of our tote bag here. Oops. Okay, and we're going to press that down to the mat. The mat is adhesive, so it kind of helps to just leave the tote in place so you can apply your ink to it. So we're gonna go ahead and take out our transfer we're gonna use. This one is a custom order I'm working on. So let's go ahead and put this down on our tote. Gonna find the center. Working on lining it up. I know it may be a little off here, but I'm just gonna work on lining it up with the handles. So it may look a little off, but once it is heat set, it will shift a little bit more that way. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna press down, make sure it is completely sitting flat on the tote. We're gonna go ahead and open up our black ink here. Now the good thing about ink is it does not dry right away, so you can take your time. All right, so we're just gonna pull our ink. I start all the way at the top and I work my way across. That way, if for whatever reason it happens to shift, the transfer happens to shift down a little bit, at least the entire transfer will shift down, not making it noticeable that there was a shift, okay? So we're just gonna keep working left to right, all the way down here. All right, and then once we are done, we're just gonna make sure we've got all the excess ink pulled up. I do recommend try and stick with going in the same direction the whole time. So I'm just going top to bottom. I'm not going left to right as far as like scraping this way, okay? I've got excess here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in the jar, trying not to make a mess. Sometimes it's a little hard. And then I'm gonna scrape up any extra ink I see, okay? All right, so I'm gonna grab a wiping. You're gonna double check, make sure it's not all over your hands. Kind of clean up your hands just a little bit, because if you accidentally, that's the worst thing, you guys, if you have ink on your hand and you put your hand down to pull the transfer up and then you end up getting it on there, ugh, it's like all that hard work and then you just messed it up at the end. All right, so I work my way all the way down and it's completely released from the transfer. I just want to double check, make sure everything looks good before I completely remove it. Everything does look great, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it from there, and I'm going to set it on a dish towel here, right? And I'm going to show you how to clean it real quick. So this is start to finish on how to do one of these projects. Now you can wash this, you can reuse this particular design anywhere from like 8 to 10 times, but I have actually used some of my transfers or my stencils more than that, okay? So this is called a board eraser. It just helps to clean. You can see I've used mine quite a bit. You can just rinse it out in the sink as well, okay? I'm just gonna spray that, flip it over, spray this side real quick as well. Continue to just clean. We're working on getting all of the ink out of the silkscreen part of the design here. Once you've done that, then you are good. Okay, so I do that. I personally like to take a napkin and wipe off this dirty water on the back. I feel like once I wipe it off, it helps my transfer to stick back to the sheet it came on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna grab our sheet here. Now when I put this back on, there are two sides here. The shinier side is the one that goes back on. Now If you get one that's both shiny, what I recommend is like putting a sticker or something on the back or marking it so you know which one was the back side. On our newer transfers, it is yellow that's on the back and the white will go down on the adhesive side. Okay, so I just roll that up, press it down, and then I will wipe off whatever water might be left on here. Okay, I like to put this back in here because the corners sometimes will peel up just a little bit. You'll see, like that. So I just fold it up like a little taco, press it in there, and there we go. So now you can store these flat just like this, or you can feel free to hang them if you choose. All right, so now we're bringing this back out. A couple of things. You could let this dry overnight if you're crafting at night. You could also just let it dry for like maybe an hour or so and then come back and heat set it. But those are the two things that I would recommend. Okay, so we're just gonna wait just a little bit and we're gonna heat set it, okay? Alrighty, y'all, so let's go ahead and heat set this. So we're gonna go ahead and remove our ink mat here. I do have a heating pad. We're gonna cover this up with parchment paper. And then I do have our heat press set to 300. And I'm gonna do about 15 seconds or so, and then I'll scoot it down to do the second part of it. But I put it at 300 because I do not want it to burn our tote. All right, so let me just try and get the second half that hasn't been heat set. Again, I'm still just using the 300 instead of 350, okay? So we'll move it around a little bit and we are all good. Okay, I did already let it dry overnight. You can just let it dry a couple of hours, but our tote bag is all good. It is ready to go. And if you want to do the back, you can do the back, but super easy.